of course, my club was the reason for my success.
Yay!
You all had to hear that speech many, many times, and each time that I told it, you gave me feedback to make it better. So that's great. Bette approached me, another one of our club members here. She approached me after I gave the speech one time, and she said, Shawn, at this competition, you're going to be playing at a really high level against a lot of really good speakers. I suggest you reach out and contact someone who can help you make your speech better. And she recommended a guy by the name of Shawn Purvis, who has won the international competition at our district a time or two before, in addition to winning the humorous speech contest. So he obviously knows what he's doing. So I reached out to him, and he was able to work with me a few sessions before the conference last weekend to make my speech even better. So to take the element that was already there, polish it, remove the extraneous stuff that didn't need to be there, and to add the things like humor, which the speech was kind of lacking before, that I felt like really did the job. At the conference, we had a past championship of the world's greatest speaker competition in the year 2000. His name was Ed Tate, and he was there. So I approached him and I asked him, Ed, when I saw the Table Topics contest, which is the impromptu speeches that we give, they had a contest for that the Friday prior. I said, the people that won it weren't technically correct according to what we would do here in our Toastmasters club. In our Table Topics competition, when you get up here and you talk in your Table Topics, if you're doing something like then they'll, or if you're got your hands in your pockets, they'll ding you, right? They didn't do any of that there. The people that did those things weren't graded off on it in my mind, because the people that won it didn't win it due to the regulations that we follow. So I asked him, I said, what's the story? Because obviously I have an interest in winning this competition. How do I win the speech competition when I can't use Toastmaster rules? And he said, Shawn, there's only one thing you need to know. Don't care anything about the rules for Toastmasters, only care about winning the audience. Because the judges are sitting amongst the audience members. Win them and you've won the competition. And so when I was up there, I was more interested in telling a good story than I was doing everything that we do properly in Toastmasters with the hand motions and the speaking and all that. I lapsed into country bumpkin talk and gave flavor to my characters and just did everything that I could do to share a good story with the audience. And as a result of that, they threw the award at me when there was a lot of really, really good speakers that I was competing against with awesome stories of their own. So that's kind of my experience from the weekend. Does anyone have any questions for me around that? Yes?
So from here, what is the next step?
On August the 22nd, I will be competing at the semifinals in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I will be competing against 9 people in the semifinal round. And then if I make it past that round, I will be competing for the World Championship of Public Speaking against 7 or 8 other people. Yes?
There's 9 different groups. So he'll be competing against 9 people in his group. The winners of each of those 9 groups then go to the finals.
In Kuala Lumpur. So there's two competitions
Yes.
in KL, right?
Yes.
Day 1, day 2 or something.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be Thursday for the first one and then Saturday for the second one.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
When you were thinking about this, like maybe the day before, were you just thinking like, let me at it, I'm ready for it, or were you kind of nervous at all?
I was really, really worried that I would be telling the story and then just go blank on the stage. Like, where's the next part? And then freeze. So to get over that, I, working with Shawn, figured out that the best speakers actually use the stage very strategically. They tell stories and they use the stage as part of the palette that they paint their story on. So here in Toastmasters, sometimes we'll be up here at the podium and we'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and never really move our feet, because you're working on a stage and you're elevated so everybody can see your entire body when you're up there. They advise you when you're telling a story to do it sequentially. So I might do my introduction here, and then I'll walk up to this side of the stage to tell the first part of my story. And then as I'm telling my story, the middle part will come and I'll move to the middle part of the stage, and then the final round of my story might happen here. The conclusion, I'll step back to the center. And then for my story, because it was very impactful at the end, I was giving a call to action to the audience. I stepped up to the front of the stage so I could like reach out and grab them. So by doing that, I was able to implant in my head, if I'm here, this is the part of the story I'm telling. And I was able to get that done. And then I moved to this part, and all of a sudden the second part, I knew what I was going to do when I was standing here, and then finally the conclusion. I memorized the introduction and the conclusion of the speech, because those are the most important parts, and everything in the middle was a story, so it just kind of flowed like it would if you're telling a story of what happened last week to you or something like that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Did the other speakers also use stories, or was it?
They did. Let me think. The other speakers, there was only one that had competed there time and time again. His name was Jim Busey, and he was the last person to speak. He told a story. He tied in the song Candyman to his life experience with his father and his grandfather. And the other speakers, one of them told a motivational tale about unpacking your bags, which is a common theme, getting the fear out of there and everything like that. And then one woman told a very sad story about her broken heart. The great thing about this conference was Ed Tate, who again won the championship in 2000, at the last session on Sunday, he got up in front of the attendees of this session and he said, I want to go through the format I use to judge speakers. And I want to pick apart every single speech that we saw last night and let you know what I thought about them. So that was really helpful for me.
That's really good.
So he went through the speeches and he said, now for John Smith, whoever the first speaker was, he said this is what he did according to my plan that I judge speakers on. And this is where he went wrong. This is how he could improve. And a couple of us were in the crowd that had spoken. So he looked right at us and he said, Shawn, I didn't write down a lot for your speech. And I looked at him and I said, well, that doesn't help me at all. It's a championship. I need improvement, man. And so he said that the story you told just kept me into it, so that I didn't need to write down a lot. The one thing that I noticed that you did that you could improve on was don't shift your weight back and forth so much. Now, in fact, I had a torn knee. That's what I blame it on. But you guys have seen me healthy, and I still do that. So
Brace it up. Brace it up.
that was really helpful. And so, a lot of stories involved. People tied in mostly emotional parts of their lives. Mine was the only one that was just straight story. Without saying, and then my father died or something depressing.
Need the hook.
So that's me. Anyone other questions? All right, I will hang around afterwards
wait,
if you
she
find
has a
anything.
question.
Yes.
Are you going to speak same topic again when you go to Malaysia, or if you go to?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So I have the opportunity to present 2 speeches at the next competition. One at the semifinal, and if that speech wins it, I go on to the final. I think I'm going to repeat the speech that I did for the semifinal, and then I'm working again with Sean Purvis on a final speech that you guys will definitely see an early version of here that I will be presenting if I capture that semifinal.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good job.
That's
Wonderful.
it. Thank you so much.